Good morning, guys. Good morning, girls. Sorry about that. Hope you guys are just doing fantastic. Here I am walking up $3,500. Cha-ching. Winner, chicken dinner. Last day of the month. I didn't want to push it. Was real nervous. Luckily, a stock that I've traded before was on the scanner, and I was able to trade it pretty well. And then now it's a stock I've traded before, and I knew that there was a high probability that I'd be able to trade it well again because I've done well on it before. I love that instant coffee. Not really, but the stock was LGVN. A little higher price stock, moved fast, pretty volatile. Now looking at it, it is pushing back to high day, and I do feel FOMO, and I do feel like I could jump back on, and very easily I can make another couple $1,000s. But the risk is that I will lose a couple $1,000s, become triggered, and then next thing you know, 45 minutes from now, I'm sitting red on the day, $4,000. So last day of the month, like I said, don't want to push it. And I'm going to review the month a little bit today. I'm finishing March up green, $75,000. What the heck? Woo! Never would have thought this would ever have happened. But when you go for your dreams and you put in the time, and that things like this can happen, I guess. I didn't believe it fully, but it can happen. So sorry if I'm gloating a little bit there, but it's been a great month. I'm not going to complain. Yeah, I lost $4,000 on Tuesday. That was pretty sucky. That set me back. I could be up almost 80,000 had I not did what I did on Tuesday. Had I just taken a zero, had I just shut down at minus 500, minus 1,000, I would be up. I'd be up not quite 80,000, but closer to 80,000. But that's just the way it goes. You're gonna have to take a loss some days. Some days you're not gonna be as sharp as others. I mean, you can't perform at a perfect level every day. You can't do that 250 days out of the year. That's how many trading days there are in a year. So you got to account for the fact that you're not going to be perfect every day. You got to account for the fact that the market's not going to be perfect every day or every week or every month. Every month is going to be different. I don't make 75 grand every month. That'd be awesome if I did, but it's just not possible. Not right now. Maybe in the future, once I have bigger share size, once I get better, yeah, maybe. But yeah, so finishing up today, $3,500. I'm scared to look at the LGVN because I'm just scared to see it ripping to the moon while I'm not trading it, because it is a pretty nice stock to trade. When it moves quick, and that's what I like. I also traded Cells today. That's another stock I've recapped on here before. CELZ. Just could not get dialed in on it. It was buying too high. It was kind of choppy in my opinion. Kept getting stopped out. I went down $300 on it, then back to break even. Now I'm finishing back down $200 on it. So red 200 there, green 37 on LGVN. So let's get into it, because I also want to recap a little bit of the year. Not the year of March. So very quickly, we got CELZ and LGVN. Let's take a look here. CELZ, not much. I didn't take too many trades, as you can see here. Tried to buy up here at about 420, thinking we'd get a rip up to like $5 or something. It didn't happen. I mean, it did give a little pop here, but I got chopped out. The price action was very choppy. So I was in, I think, around 420, thinking we'd get a move up to 450 maybe. I fizzled out pretty quick on it, and I never really got up to full size of 7,500 shares. I only got to 3,750. So not much there. I traded it a little bit, and I just realized, if it's just not like stealing candy from a baby, I don't want to trade it. If it's not just like me just easily having money come into my account, then why am I even trading it? I just want to trade the stocks that I can easily make money on. I'm not going to try to trade a stock that I'm not making money on easily. If I'm struggling to make money on it, if I'm struggling to predict what the future price action will be or the future price will be, if I'm struggling figuring out the stock, then I don't want to trade it. So I went back to LGVN, because right out of the gates I had made about 2,500. And see, this is why I don't get back on. It flushes like this, because I was watching it up in this area like, oh, we might break high today. I was about to get on. And sure enough, had I gotten on, I probably would have lost a little bit, if not quite a bit. So anyway, I was watching LGVN right out of the gates only because there wasn't really much else to watch. There was CELZ, but also because I know this stock and I've traded it before, and it responds very well. It's very sensitive to I don't know how to explain it, but when it moves quick. And especially early in the day. As the day goes on, I've noticed with LGVN, it's one of those things where you got to get it really quick, and then you got to get right back out, because then it starts to sell off. There's a lot of selling pressure. It tends to not be as good. Now, there was still a nice pop right here, breakthrough VWAP that I caught. But still, there was a lot of like false flags down in this area. There's a big seller right in here around 928. I think it was a hidden seller. It was like 20,000 shares. Just kept hitting it and then getting rejected over and over again in this area. I believe we broke through it maybe a little bit here, but then it sold right back down. And then on this try up, I saw that it was holding. I got in around 918. Thinking we get a move up back to high day. We got a little pop. It was kind of a slower chug. You can see here this big bottoming wick here, so it wasn't the cleanest, and then it did flush here and a slight pop here, and then I left about right in this area right after this move through here. This is where I got like another $1,000 because I was up about 2,700 on this minus the 200 loss on sell, so I was up about $2,500 on the day. Excuse me, and then. And this pop through VWAP, I was lucky to catch a pretty nice win. Nothing full size share size or anything, but still enough share size to catch about $1,000. So that brings me up to 3,500 on the day, which is just perfect. That's above my daily average, so it's an above average day. Not much I can really complain about. I could have stuck around maybe and caught this, but the risk is getting stuck in something like this. So the sooner you can get out of the market, the better, generally, because it's the money comes in easy, but it also leaves just as easy. So you have to be quick to shut down, lock in your gains, and get away from the market, because the market will just loves to take your money. It loves to take your money. So that was my day. It was a shorter day. Didn't even trade for one whole hour. It was maybe like 40 minutes. Maybe really the bulk of it was the first half hour, and then at maybe 45 minutes I shut down. Not even a full hour. But finishing March. Here's my stats on the year. Let's see. Yeah, you guys can mostly see it. So total gain on the year 144,000 as of today. Let me turn the brightness down here a little bit. Average daily gain 2,300. That's pretty good. Average winning trade 1,900 to 570. So not quite 4-to-1. It was closer to 4-to-1 before I had that $3,800 loss. Unfortunately, that loss kind of it took a good chunk out of my stats. But like I said, I was expecting that, because I was due for a pullback. I was you'll be doing good for a while, but eventually you're gonna have a little pullback, just like a stock. Just like a stock, where you'll have nice clean moves up, but you're gonna have a little pullback. You're gonna have a move. It might get a little choppy. Oh, you guys can see. It might get a little choppy, but then you're gonna get a nice move up, then a little pullback here. That was my $3,800 loss, and then here's my recovery. And hopefully this line continues. It's pretty linear, but it's not perfect. It's not just making money every day, sadly. So. I have about a 60% win rate. That's pretty good. I'm usually around 50%, so a slight bump in my winning trades so far this year. Definitely a bump up in my win-loss ratio, my average winning trade to average losing trade. I usually was 2-to-1, and just barely. Now this year is 3-to-1, over 3-to-1. So happy about that. Let's go to March, because we just finished the month here, up $75,000 for March. This is a record. Total fees, not really many fees or commissions, just because I'm using a free platform. I didn't trade in my Lightspeed account, which is my Lightspeed account is another brokerage that I used to use, or I kind of use it, kind of not really anymore, just because they have high commissions. I really didn't see. I don't know. I didn't really see much different in order speed. I mean, TD Ameritrade is pretty quick. It's pretty quick unless it's right at the open. If it's right at the open, then it's definitely glitchy and laggy. But after the open, or if I'm not trading pre-market, I mean, TD Ameritrade is more than adequate for me, and I haven't had really that many issues with TD Ameritrade. in the commissions and fees at Lightspeed, I mean, they just seem archaic. Like I don't know how that business is going to stay in business going forward in the future, because it's just like, who's charging that much money to make trades? That's just ridiculous. And at this point, technology is to the point where it's like, TD Ameritrade can execute orders pretty fast. They can, and it's proof that, I mean, I made $75,000 this month using a free broker. Just very little commission. So happy about that. Not happy about that $3,800 loss earlier in this week, because I was up at 73,000, had a setback, but luckily finishing up at my highs. Could have been closer to an $80,000 month, but just as quick as one day can really change your whole month. Like a $3,800 loss, it didn't change it astronomically, but it did set me back. Not only the $3,800, but also then the following 2 days I had to trade just to dig back out of the hole. So not only was that day wasted and I lost money, the future days were wasted because I wasn't really making any new headway. I was just digging myself back out of the loss that I had. Cumulative drawdown. So yeah, that $3,800, almost $3,900 on 3/29 Tuesday. So yeah, $3,800 drawdown there. My previous big one was $2,800. So even despite those two losses, 75,000. Win rate was my number of winning trades to losing 62%, 30 to 18. That's pretty good. Definitely a solid 3-1 on my average winning trade to average losing trade size. Average daily gain 3,200. So my yearly average gain is 2,300, right? This month was 3,200. So definitely an above average month, especially when my average last year was $1,200 a day. So we're definitely way above average. I don't know if that has to do with the market. I mean, the market was strong this month, but also I'm trading with bigger size, so I have to take that into account. What else? Here's my calendar for the month. Some red, as you can see, but it's nice that 50% of my red days were well below $1,000 and even almost below $500. So that's good. That made up for the fact that I had two other red days that were above average red days. They should have been or could have been a lot smaller. This I know could have been smaller. This is not too bad, $2,800, but it's still a little bigger. I like more of this. So would have liked to have kept these two bigger red days smaller, but I mean, what can you do? Some days it's just going to be like that. You're just you get flustered, you have a lapse of judgment, and you will lose a little bit more money than you would like. And you have to roll with those. You have to roll with the punches. You have to accept that. You have to start the next day as a new day. Probably reduce share size, go a little slow, because you don't want to roll that loss into. You don't want to roll the previous day's loss into today, and then you have a loss on the next day. So, great month record. My previous record was last June, 52,000. So I'm beating it by exactly almost over 20,000, almost $23,000 above my previous record. And I never had the expectation that this month was going to do this. I started the first day of the month, $1,500 green. That's nothing special. Second day, 24. Thursday heated up. So maybe I did have an indication, because on the third and fourth day of the month, I already was up. I was already up a good amount of money. I'm struggling to do the math, but it looks like that first month, this first week, Monday not included. Monday I made $1,400 here. I made $20,000 this week. I made $9,000 this week. 14,000 this week. Just under 25,000 this week. This week is not done, but so far I'm up 6,500 for this week. So these are my stats. This is what I'm constantly looking at to see, to keep track. I mean, just like when you play a video game, or if you've ever played Call of Duty, I mean, you have stats, you have your kill-death ratio. I mean, those stats mean something. And this is kind of like my Call of Duty stats. This is my KD, my how many times I kill versus how many times I get killed. There's stats for everything. I mean, football, soccer, everything's statistics nowadays. And now it's not like I'm crunching these numbers trying to figure out the perfect combination. No, it's not that complex. It's just I'm trying to keep track. If I see that my percentage wins right here, if this is kind of below 50%, then I know that I'm not choosing good stocks to trade. I'm getting kind of trading crappy stocks that I'm not doing well on. So I kind of keep it as like an indicator of like how well I'm doing. So far this month, my stats are indicating that I'm doing really well. So I kind of want to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't want to mess with the rhythm I got going on. I don't want to go on some big vacation somewhere and then get out of rhythm of what I'm doing. I'm going to wait until the market slows down before I decide to go on like some vacation, or if I decide to go somewhere else or go back to the farm, because I don't want to fall out of rhythm with what I've got going on here. Now, April last year was a really slow month, so maybe that pattern will repeat itself, and especially after a month as great as this, as great as March, you would expect a slowdown. There's a very low probability that I'll make another 75 grand next month. Very low probability. It'll probably be more like the 20 to 30,000. And if it's a really, really bad month, it'll be more like 10,000. Yeah, I hopefully not, but it certainly can. It certainly can. Just when you think it's smooth sailing, that's when it starts to get rocky and rough seas. just when you think you're out of the clear is when it sneaks up on you, and then you get smoked. Okay, so that's happened to me enough to where I'm kind of always on edge. Every day I'm on edge because I know any day has the possibility to be bad, and vice versa. Any day has the possibility to be good. That's kind of the beauty of it too. So, with that said, I mean, March has been it's been unreal. $75,000 in 1 month. Now, of course, I had to pay a lot of tax on that, so it's not like I have 75 grand all to myself. I will be giving about half of that away to the government, to give to other people. So, yeah, I made 75 grand, but I'm not keeping 75 grand in my pocket. Now, I'm sorry if I'm just bitching and moaning here about taxes, but that's the reality of it. When you start making more money, is you start getting taxed more. Instead of paying 20%, you're starting to pay 30, 40% even. It's getting to the point where I'm starting to get up to that 40% tax bracket. It's like, wow, half my money gone. For every dollar I make, 50 cents of it goes to the government. And I mean, it's the market. It's already hard enough to make money in the market, let alone having half the money you do make go away. Which, I mean, I live in America. I have to pay my dues. I mean, I like having paved roads. I like having low crime rates, and I like to be in a safe country. So, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm glad to at least be supporting a country that I like. But it is kind of sad to see 50% of my money disappear. Not really disappear, but it goes to the government. So, yeah, I'm trying this. This is Death Wish coffee from Walmart. 300 milligrams caffeine. It's called the most caffeinated. I forgot what their claim is, but it's like 300 milligrams. It's more than a Starbucks drink. I mean, that's quite a bit of caffeine. Death Wish instant coffee. Yeah, Death Wish. Yeah. It's like $14 for like 10 packets. It's not cheap, but I mean, it smacks. It smacks. It's almost like you're on cocaine. You're just like, you take some and you're just like driving down the road and you're just like, whoa. You're just like a little bit high. It's kind of nice. It's kind of like taking C4 pre-workout. Woo! Especially when you have a low tolerance to C4 pre-workout. I mean, that stuff feels like coke. I mean, it slams you hard. After you do it for a while, then your tolerance, you don't feel as I'm trying to find a better word, but you just don't feel as high. Well, I hope you guys haven't been hearing this all video. Whatever. I mean, I don't think it should. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like it's been picking up. So, I'm sorry about that if that has been annoying this video, but I'm not going to reshoot this video. Let me just take this out of here. How about that? There, it's out. So, if you guys traded this month and it didn't go that well for you, then you need to go back and look at your stats. You need to go back and see, what days made or broke your month. Maybe there was just one day where you fell apart, and now you're red on the month. I don't know. But the point is, go through your stats, look at them. Don't obsess over them. Don't let that drag on you too much. I mean, you just got to start every day as almost like a new day. Every day is different. Every day has its own potential. Now, if the market is overall slow, then you can have that bias where it's like, okay, today is probably going to be slow. I had that bias this month where every day was pretty much hot. So yeah, I started every day slow, but I still had that bias of, okay, the market's hot, it's time to be aggressive. So it's a delicate balance of being aggressive and then being defensive, being timid. You need to be able to gauge that, and it's according to the market, and it's according to your emotional state and your confidence level. It's both of them. So with that said, guys, I think I'm going to cut it there. I don't want this to be too long of a video, but I wanted to recap the month a little bit because today's the last day of the month. Tomorrow is April 1st, and the last day of the month and the first day of the month are, I would say, two important days. Two very important days because, first of all, the last day of the month can be a little tricky. Today it worked out, but sometimes the last day of the month will be totally different than what the rest of the month was, especially if it was a hot month. Usually the last day of the month is then sort of colder. A lot of people are like, don't want to do anything crazy on the last day, so you don't usually see crazy action on the last day. Same for the first day. First day of the month is always, sometimes it can be good, but usually everyone's sort of like starting slow. So you gotta accept that the first day of the month is going to be sort of slower, and you gotta slow down with it. Sometimes it's not, but like I said, every day is different, but there are patterns and trends that repeat. Okay, so with that said, guys, I'm gonna head out. I hope you guys have a great day. Please like, comment. I said I was gonna get a video out this week. It just seems that I've just been getting kind of lazy. If you guys have any video ideas, pop them in the comments. That might be the motivation for me to pop out a video for you guys. And I'm sure you won't regret just tossing a comment in the comment section. Also, like, subscribe. The likes help out. The subscribing helps out. So please do that. And I think that will do it for me. I will be back tomorrow with another review, or a daily rewind. We'll call it that. Daily rewind. So please check it out. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.